Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of the podcast, Pod Talks, every single Thursday with Elisa. So, today we're going to be talking about something very interesting. I think something that you guys are going to learn, are going to love, and something that you guys are going to value so much because we're going to be talking about mindset and how we can change our mindset, how you can change your mindset to help you with your fitness progress. And something that we always tell you guys is whatever you learn here, whatever you learn related to your fitness are things that you can learn and things that you can apply in your life. It's not just at the gym, it's not just with your meal plan, it's not just with your training. It's literally things you can do and apply in your everyday in life because it can help you with so many things. But thank you so much, Elise, for joining us. How are you feeling today?
Yes, thanks for having me on again. Love these weekly podcasts, as you know, and it's good. Like, I think this week talking about something different. But yeah, no, it's a good week. We were just saying before, like how quickly the weeks go. So it's like
Mhm.
it's already like February. So, if you're watching this and you're like waiting for the like new year, new me, it's like long like the new year's
Yeah.
gone. It's like get started. So, but I think a lot of people are coming off like holiday period and getting back into things. So it's a good time for us to talk about mindset because a lot of people are probably, you know, in that negative mindset of, oh, I've let myself go so much over the holidays. I'm never going to achieve my goals. So, yeah, I think mindset is everything, as you know.
Mhm.
It controls everything that we do, how we react to situations, how we react to different, people and things in our lives. So, yeah, I think this will be a really good topic, and I really hope that we can, motivate people to just change their mindset, have a more positive mindset, about everything. Like you said, not just nutrition, fitness, but overall life. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I think like this is something that because both of us we have both done bodybuilding, and I think the beauty about bodybuilding, like there's so many pros and cons with bodybuilding.
yeah,
But I think
definitely.
one of the main pros it's having or developing a strong mindset because
Yes, yeah.
you need to have such
Mm,
a strong mindset to be able to be dieting for literally months and months and months and months
yeah,
and put yourself into that place that you just have to follow what's given. You just have to stick to the plan. You have to
yeah,
work hard, even if you don't feel like working hard. But it's
yeah,
because you believe in yourself. You believe that you can make it happen. You believe or you see yourself on that day, show day on stage, and you just want
yeah,
to get there and you do anything that it's possible. And I feel like that's why for us that we have done bodybuilding, maybe that's why we're so passionate about it. At least that's why I'm so
yeah,
passionate about it because it showed me
yeah.
that mindset is literally everything. Like
It
whatever
is,
you tell
yeah.
yourself you can do, you can make it happen. Like you
Yeah,
can.
if you want something, you can get it. And like no matter how big or small your goal is, like if you have a strong mindset, you can overcome any hurdle. Like
Mhm.
in prep, like bodybuilding, you have so many highs and so many lows.
Mhm.
Low points, if you give up, that just shows like, okay, your mindset's not strong. But if you push through that, okay, I've got a strong mindset. So yeah, that is one of the pros of bodybuilding. It does teach you that like discipline, mindset, and that, no matter what's going on in your life, you can still achieve your goals. So, and I think that, yeah, we can at least pass that on to other people because we've experienced it.
Yeah.
It's easier like for people to come on and be like, have a positive mindset, but it's like, how do you do that? And it's like, if you've experienced it, everything's about experience. I think if you experience something, you can learn from it and you can pass it on to other people. So I
Mhm.
think that's what we can definitely do with this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And exactly like something I want to mention, this concept that I learned, because now that you mentioned positive mindset, I was talking about it with my group the other week, which is about overthinking. And I learned this concept from this guy called Rob Dial. He's someone, I think I told you about him so many times. I
Yes.
followed him,
It's
yeah, on
great. Yeah.
Instagram. He's got an amazing podcast. He's got an
Yeah.
amazing book called Level Up. So if you haven't read the book, please go and read it or listen to
Yeah.
the because it's amazing. But something he was talking about, I think maybe 2 3 weeks ago, I don't know when, but he was talking about overthinking. And he was talking about this whole concept of there's I, you as I, and then there's self, which I know
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense now, but just bear with me. So the I, The I is literally you, like the person that you were born. So when you were a baby, you had no name, you had nothing, you didn't know who you were. This is I, the person that you truly, truly are. And then the self is the person that you have become, the
Yeah.
person that
Heard this.
you've been
Yeah.
shaped, conditioned because of your environment, your parents, your beliefs, your religion, everything around you has shaped the person that you are now. But it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that that's you. It doesn't mean that's your true self. So we need to differentiate between the self, the true self, the I, and then the self. And think about it this way, like you have you, the I, and then you have your mind. So if you're watching this video, it's going to make more sense. But if you're just listening to the podcast, please just try to pretend I'm holding my hands. So my left hand is the I, my true self, and my right hand is the self. So the person that I have conditioned to be. And think about the self as being the mind. So the mind is just another muscle, if you want us to call it muscle, it's another muscle of your body. Just like you have your mind, you have your stomach, you have your muscles, your quads, and all of that. And every single muscle in your body has a different role. So let's say a different system in your body that has a different role. So when you eat something, the digestive system, the role of the digestive system is to digest the food, to break down the food, because you just ate something. We want to make sure we get the nutrients from the protein, the carbs, the fats, and all of that. And the role of the mind is to produce thoughts. And those thoughts are not always positive. Those thoughts most of the time are negative thoughts. And that's why constantly, like literally every single day, we have those negative thoughts. Not because that's who we are, not because we want to have them, but that's the job, quote unquote, the job of the
Yeah.
mind. And then
Yeah.
it's what it does. It produces those thoughts. And our job as the I, so the left hand, is that you have to remind yourself that that's not you. That's just the mind doing its job. And that's when you need to remind yourself of the positive thoughts. That's when you need to start doing the work and telling yourself those positive things, remind you like, that's not me. That's just the mind doing the thing, but that's not the true self. That's not exactly who I am. So hopefully that's making sense. It took a while to understand that concept. But I think like once you realize that the true self and the mind are two different people or two different
Yeah.
it's gonna help you see things from a different perspective, because then you're gonna be like, okay, actually when I have those thoughts that come to my mind that tell me that I'm gonna fail, that tell me that I will never be able to lose that body fat, or I will never be able to jump on stage, that's when the true self needs to come out. And you need to remind yourself that actually I can make it happen. Actually you need to be quiet, because I'm going to be on that stage. If your goal is bodybuilding, I'm going to lose that body fat, I'm going to achieve those goals. And that's something that we have to do, a work that we have to do on a daily basis. Like literally, just how you spend your time going to the gym, just how you spend your time prepping your meals, you have to also be willing to spend that time to work on the mindset, to work on the mind. Yeah. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's actually funny. Like as soon as you were explaining that, I was thinking of like, it's like more in like movies, you know how they have like on the shoulder, like the bad one and the good, like the
Oh,
devil,
yes.
angel, and like
Yeah.
the devil's telling you to do this, but like the angel's telling you to like do this. So it's like that's how your mind is. Like no one's mind is programmed where it's going to have positive thoughts about every single thing all the time. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of like you have to be so strong to overcome that. You know what I mean? And it's like you can say it so much, but there's just some things where even us, like, people probably look at us and think, oh wow, like they're always so positive and their mindset's great. Like even I see your post and I'm like, wow, like she's so motivating, positive, but it's like we're not always like that 24/7. It's like even us, like we still experience those negative thoughts, but it's how we deal with those negative thoughts. Some people are really consumed by them and they don't know how to overcome them. So that guy that you were mentioning before, you sent me his podcast and I was listening as well. He was saying, it's how he was trying to give strategies of like how you overcome that, because you need to have strategies of how to overcome that negative self-talk, because it's just something natural that happens. And I think like the influence of these days of like social media and my dog's going off. Like the influence of social media and other people and their thoughts, that can influence yours as well. So you've really got to have those strategies in place, so yeah.
Yeah, and I like how you say like we struggle with this, because I feel like every single person in this world, it's always going to struggle with this. It's never going to be something that you're going to be able to overcome 100%, because that little voice, that mind is always going to be there unless you take your mind out of your brain, which it cannot happen, but it's
Yeah.
always going to be there. And I like how you put like the way that you describe it, like having those little people on your shoulders, like the little angel and then the little devil. Like I think that's a really good way for you guys to understand what I'm trying to say. But it's
Yeah.
more about doing the work, applying
Yeah.
those strategies to help you not overcome this, but to help you just try and be more positive. Because again, you won't be able to be positive all the time. You're gonna
Yeah.
have days that you're simply not wanna, you won't feel like being positive. You won't feel like spending that time or energy to try to change those thoughts. You're gonna be like, yeah, I accept it. Yeah, maybe I'm just a failure. Yeah, maybe whatever is going on. But it's just like, how can we slowly change that to ensure that next time that happens, next time you have those negative thoughts, you do something so you can change that. You can change the narrative in your brain and you start being more positive a little bit every single day. It's like just like
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
you do the work every single day to help you lose body fat, to help you with the end goal is the same thing with the mindset. So what do you think are some strategies, or what's something that has worked for you to help you be more positive?
Well, what I like to do is, and I've tried to tell other people to do this as well, but it's something that you've got to like stay on top of. I like to, at the end of every week, I'll write like a goal that I want to achieve for the week. Like something small, not something that's going to take me, months to build up to. It might be something as simple as, hit my step target each day, like something little like that, right? And I feel like I I've got that goal in mind and I'm like, I need to do everything possible. Like, no, that's my goal. Keep reminding myself of that goal. So I have like a little whiteboard I'll write it on, just so it's there as a reminder. And I think that's good because I feel like if I didn't have that there, I'd be like, oh, you know what? It's all right. I'll do it tomorrow. But because I've set myself that goal, I'm like, no, trying to prove to myself that I can actually achieve this goal, So little things like that, having those constant reminders that you can do it, and I just make sure I look at that every day. And I'm like, yep, that's what I want to achieve. So, and I've even told other people to do that. Just one goal. If you try to have all these goals that you're trying to achieve, you overwhelm yourself. And that's when you can go into that negative mindset because you're like, oh, I haven't done this and I haven't done that. You know what I mean? So I think setting something like just one small goal that you can focus on.
Mhm.
Obviously you're still staying on track with other things, but you're like non-negotiable. That's going to build like a positive mindset because it's going to teach you that you can overcome obstacles, things that come your way. Like another thing I was trying to tell people as well is there are things out of your control that are going to come your way. You can't predict the future. So knowing how to overcome that, and then if you're still achieving your goal whilst these things are happening, then that's going to build like your resilience, strong mindset, all of that. So that's a strategy that I have started doing for the past few months, and I found that's really good because I feel like I was always trying to do so much, and it's like, no, just focus on this, start small. So yeah.
I think, yeah, one thing at a time works better. But I like how you mentioned that we cannot control everything. And I know that's something for some people hard to understand because it's a hard, you want to be able to control everything. There's some
Yeah, yeah,
situations in life that you just want to have the control. But as
yeah,
much as we want to, we're not able to control everything that we want. So
yeah,
it's just how, I guess, accepting or being okay with, okay, there's only so much I can control, and I'm only going to control what I can control because it's literally only so much you can do. So next time that something happens to you, whether it's a very challenging situation in your relationship with your family, I don't know, with your friends or at work, just remember, like, as long as you've done everything that you can, like everything in your hands to help you solve that situation of that problem, that's all you should worry about.
yeah,
Maybe if you feel like you haven't done everything that is under your control, then do something extra. But if
yeah,
you know 100% like deep down, I've tried everything, I've done everything I can, remind yourself there's nothing else you can do.
yeah,
There's
that's right.
nothing else you can do. If you keep telling yourself like, oh, but I want to be in control, but this and that, you're simply gonna be putting yourself down. Like you're gonna
Yeah,
be the one putting yourself
definitely.
down. And you're
Yeah,
gonna be the one making the situation 20 times worse for yourself.
Yeah.
And why will you do that for yourself? You should be your own cheerleader. You should be the
Yeah.
one, giving you that positive energy, giving you that spirit or that energy to help you keep going and continue. So next time that you feel like you want to control, remind yourself there's only so much I can do and there's only so much in my control.
Yeah.
Nothing. And
100%. Like,
yeah.
yeah, like even like perfect example, like I had a client and she was like, oh, I've been super consistent this week, but like the scale hasn't moved. Right. And this is where the mindset comes in. And it's like, okay, you just told me you've been super, like really consistent. That is a win. Like, take that as a win. You can't control what the scale says, like this person, she's, maybe doesn't have the best sleep. That can like affect the scale. Stress at work, that can affect the scale. There's other factors that affect the scale. You can't just focus on that. But it's like, her being consistent, it's like, that's a win. Like, that is where you should go, no, you know what? I don't care what the scale says. I've been consistent. I've proven to myself that I can do it. You know what I mean? So little things like that, where there's going to be times where your success even is not going to maybe reflect fully what you're doing, but you've really got to be patient with it and just take the small wins, and use that as, because a lot of people will look at the scale and be like, it would get them down. It would derail. They're like, oh, that's it, I'm giving up, But if you keep pushing through, that consistency, that continued consistency is what's going to get you the results, So I always say to people, like, look, you've had a great week. That's a win. Like, use that as positive, moving forward. Yeah, you know what? I can do it. I've hit my steps, nailed my nutrition. No matter what's going on in my life, I've still been able to do that. So yeah, that's like a really good example of like, you can't control everything. If we could control the scale and be like, go down, like, we would, but we just can't. And so we need to understand that as well.
That's also a very common struggle with some of my clients. And I think
Yeah.
because like the relationship that you had with your fitness, with the scales before, it can be so easy for you to be let down by that number, even though you're giving your 100%, just like your client did with your training, with your nutrition. But as soon as you see that number maybe not moving at all, just going up a little bit, it can bring you down so much. But again, like just like you said, like we cannot control those numbers. Those numbers are always going to be fluctuating. So it's just like, okay, I've done everything in my power to ensure that I'm achieving those goals. I'm happy. I'm proud of myself because I'm doing that. And then also something else that you mentioned is like you have to, as long as you're doing the work, it's gonna take time. Like don't expect to get those results ASAP. Don't expect to be where you wanna be by tomorrow or by next week. Those results take time. So again, as long as you're doing everything, but as long as like 100%, be honest with yourself, as long as you're doing everything in your power to get to where you wanna be, the next thing is just try to be patient. I know it's annoying, it sucks, but being patient is going to take you a lot, it's going to take you to places rather you trying to rush everything and trying to get everything done.
100%.
Something that helps me whenever I have those negative thoughts, it's literally reminding myself of 3 positive things. So whenever my mind is telling me, I don't know, you're going to fail in this project, like there's no way you're going to make this happen, you have those thoughts. I tell myself, stop, like literally out loud, like stop. I don't care where I am. If I'm somewhere public, obviously I won't say stop. I'll just say on my mind. But if I'm somewhere by myself, I'll be like, stop right now. That's not true. And then I remind myself 3 positive things. You know what? I've done this. I've done this. I've done that. And when you remind yourself of those 3 positive things or 3 things that you're proud of, you're going to be more busy, or you're going to put your attention more on that positive thing, those achievements, those things that you're proud of, and you're going to forget about those negative thoughts. So it's going to be easier for you to feel better, to feel a little bit more calm, and not to feel that, oh my gosh, yes, I'm going to fail. And that's because we overthink, I'm going to fail. This is never going to happen. I'm never going to be able to succeed. I'm never going to be able to do this and that. And it's just like, yes, you're going to be able. You just have to keep pushing. You just have to keep working. You just have to tell the little boy, the mind, to shut up and remind yourself of those things. I think that has been a strategy that I use myself and that I always recommend to my clients, because I think it's powerful. I think it actually works. Like if you put it into practice, but you have to do it every time it happens, not just once a week, not just when I remember. It has to be done every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good because it's like you're also like reflecting on, oh, hold on a second, like I actually have, you know, had success. Like these are the three things, like the positive things that I've done. So it's a good chance as well, because I think with life, we are so busy, we're just like going through the motions. We don't have that time, we don't give ourselves that time to stop and reflect. You know what I mean? And I've been trying to even make a conscious effort to do that lately. It's like stop and reflect on the things that I've done, my accomplishments, how far I've come, and
Yeah.
use that to motivate you. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like that, three things. It's good, but you need to kind of catch yourself when you start to have that self-doubt. You've got it straight away,
Yeah.
because I feel like people let it consume them so much, they let it go on, and then it's like picking themselves up again, you
Mhm.
know? So, and even with what we do, like, nutrition and exercise, that is highly driven by mindset. Like the most successful people are the ones that have a more positive mindset,
Yeah.
because they're able to understand the process, they're able to overcome challenges, they're able to see the positive in
Mhm.
even a negative situation. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
yeah, it's really
Yeah.
important. I've been
Oh,
trying to do that as well. When it's negative, it's like, okay, what's the positive of this? You know what I mean? So yeah.
yeah, I was gonna mention that just now. Like, try to, because I feel like sometimes we always focus too much on what's on the negative outcome, like the worst thing that can happen, but we never focus on the best thing that can happen.
Yeah,
Our
that's
mind always goes to the worst thing, like, oh my gosh, if I try this, this is gonna happen, this might
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
Your mind just starts thinking and overthinking, but it's always about like the negative thing. Our mind never overthinks about the positive things. Why?
yeah,
Because, again, that's the job of the mind, to overthink and to think about the negative things. But something
yeah,
I think that can help you when you do or try something new, whether it's a new challenge or a new something, instead of paying or putting your attention or putting your energy into this can go wrong, this is gonna go wrong, think about, okay, what am I gonna gain from this experience or from this
yeah, yeah,
that I'm doing? How is this gonna help me with my personal development? How is this
yeah,
going to help me to be a better person? How is this going to help me to grow? Because if you can focus on the things that are going to go right, even though it's challenging, but if you try,
yeah.
and it's going to be easier for you to start believing in yourself more and
Yes,
to give more
definitely.
energy. And because once you start believing in yourself more, it's easier to do things because you believe
Yeah,
in do it. It's like
definitely. Yeah,
there's something in here. You're like, yeah, I believe in myself. I believe in myself. I can make it happen. I don't care how long it takes me. I don't care what happens. I just know that I'm gonna make it happen. And that's like literally like the mind change. Like I don't know
yeah,
how to explain it, but it's something like that. This energy, like you start believing and you're like, yeah, I can make anything happen. Like literally anything happen.
yeah, yeah, that's it. And like, even I say to people, like, take, not even based on like the fitness side of things, but like personal, take risks, because they are what are going to, help you learn. And that's actually going to shape your mindset and the way that you think about things. So like, take risks. I feel like so many people hold back from doing what they want to do
Mm-hmm.
because they convince themselves that they can't do it. You know what I mean? And it's like, you've got to take that leap of faith. You've got to take that risk. Otherwise, you'll be left wondering, oh,
Mm-hmm.
could I ever
What?
do it? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, take the risk, because, you know, I say to people, there's no bad risk. That word risk, it has like a negative like connotation around it. Like, oh, risks are risky, they're dangerous, this, that. But it's like, take the risk, because even if it doesn't go right, you can learn from it. And you can then tell yourself, I was able to take on that, like you were saying before, take on that challenge, take on that risk, that just shows how strong I am. So I always say to people, like, no risk is a bad risk, just do
Mm.
it. And, you never know what can happen. That risk could be something that literally changes your life for the better, you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah, like the saying, like, be a risk taker, like, it's true. Like, it does help you, and I think it shapes you into the person that you are. And like you were saying before, with that, like, I am self, like, especially the self side, like, you can shape who you are. You're, like you said, you're born a certain way, but you are the decider of your own life. You can shape who you want to be. So
Yeah.
I think that's really important, to keep reminding yourself that.
Yeah, I think something that can be more dangerous if you don't take the risk, whether
Yeah,
it goes well or it doesn't go well, it's not taking the risk, because they're
yeah,
always gonna be wondering, what would have happened if I did that?
yes,
Where
yeah,
would I be right now if I didn't stop with my fitness journey? Where
yeah.
would I be right now if I started with my own business? Where
Mm.
would I be right now if I broke up with that boyfriend at that time and I don't know, travel the world, whatever? So I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
taking the risk, it's always more fun because yeah, it's a challenge, obviously, but you learn from challenges. You
yeah,
learn from setbacks. Like life, it's all about learning. I feel like the more you learn, the more knowledge you gain, the
yeah,
more maybe the more fun your life is going to be, like the more things, the wiser you're going to become, and the more you can help people because you're going to gain that knowledge, and then you're going to be able to tell or give your experience to other people, and that
yeah,
can serve someone. I think if you start focusing also on serving people, that also changes the experience a little bit. And something else I was going to say that has been helping me to have a positive mindset, and this is something that I have been doing consistently every single day for the past few months. Every time I wake up, wake up, get ready for the gym, whatever. And
yeah,
I go down, and when I'm drinking my water before I go to the gym, I take out my diary, my pen, and I write down all my goals for the year. But I don't
yeah,
write down, I don't put like, I don't make this amount of money. I want this, I want that. I write it down as if it's already happening. So I am already making blah, blah, blah. I am
yeah,
helping 100 women this year. I'm doing this. So I write it down in a way that it's already happening. In
yeah,
that, honestly, I feel like that is helping me to believe in myself more, because I
yeah,
feel I'm telling myself, or I'm reminding myself every single day that that's already happening. You're
yeah.
already, and that just, yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know how to explain it, but guys, you just
A
have to,
constant reminder.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
It's a reminder,
absolutely.
and you feel like, yeah, it's happening. This is who I am. Like, this is the person that I want to be. This is the
Yeah,
person I'm becoming, because this is the person that I want to be. And it just changes your mindset so much. Like, your mindset, your identity is something that you can change if you want to change, of course. It's something
yeah,
if you want to improve, if you want to be better, if you want to change in certain things in your life, your personality, you can change it. Like, your identity is not something that you're born with and you can never change it. Yes, you have your qualities, but if you want to learn something, if you want to improve something, if you want to change something about yourself, you can, only if you want to. If you
yeah,
want to be better at something, you can do it 100%. Yeah,
yeah.
but I feel like, yeah, believing in yourself, it makes a huge
So
difference.
important. And I like what you said about writing it down. Like I even, I used to not never believe it. I was like, oh, journaling, all of that, but I actually do it as well, and it makes a big difference. I feel like that whole like manifesting and all of that, like it actually does, because you need that constant reminder. It's like when you're learning a new skill, right? You need to practice and practice to get better at it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the same with that. Like if you're to write something down and remind yourself, eventually it's going to happen. You know what I mean? It's like you've just got to be consistent with it. And it's like I said, it's something you got to do every day. It's not like I'm going to write my goal today and then I'm going to write them
Mm,
again in like a few months. It's like that daily, like I'm going to keep at it, going to keep reminding myself. And eventually, like you'll look down at that and be like, oh shit, like I'm doing that now. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So, and that self-accomplishment as well. And I think this is where, like, it's really sad as well. I think the people that have a negative mindset, they haven't really accomplished a lot as well. And that really affects their minds. Like, I feel like positive mindset comes from a sense of accomplishment as well. So if you're constantly starting things, stopping things, so like not never going through with something, never getting to that end result, of success, whether it be, work, whether it be fitness, lifestyle, whatever it is, they never experience that. So they haven't got that positive mindset. Like your positive mindset comes from what you've experienced, your perception on things. So I think that's really important to understand as well. Like your accomplishments are going to make your mindset stronger.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah. But I think like one of the reasons why people don't why some people don't achieve too many things, or why some people have that negative mindset. I think it's because some people just want to do everything at once. Like they don't
Yeah,
focus on one thing they want to do, or they want to achieve everything at once. And obviously, you're not able to do too many things at once. Like if you want to do something, just do one thing only. Don't overcomplicate
yeah,
your life. Don't overcomplicate anything. The simpler you make something, the easier you're gonna make it for yourself to
yeah,
stick to that something, to pursue that something, and to achieve that goal. Once you
yeah,
achieve that goal, then you're gonna be like, actually, I can make it happen. Then you
yeah,
give
that's
yourself
right.
another goal. But it's always doing one thing at a time. There's no need for you
Yeah,
to do things. And I think maybe the reason why people do this is because they look up to successful people. And obviously when
yeah,
you're at the top up there, those people do multiple things. They have like different businesses, they run this, they run that, they have different agencies. And it's like, yeah, but they're there because they have been doing that for a long time.
yeah, yeah, working
They have a
towards that.
different mindset. Yeah. It's not like
Yeah,
they just got there after 1 year of trying and doing
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Like year after year, it's been
yeah,
10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 40
yeah,
years. It's like they started with one thing only. If that thing
yeah,
didn't work, then they try something else. If the thing
yeah,
didn't work, then they try something else. But it's
yeah,
not doing too many things at once. Like just focus on one thing.
yeah.
Once you master that one thing, then focus
Then
on
you
the
can,
next thing.
yeah, exactly. Like I put up a reel the other day, like where to start, and it's like focus. And I was saying the same thing, like focus on one thing at a time. Like those people that go all in, they literally burn themselves out. They like kill their energy. They kill their mind. Like they're not even thinking positive about the experience because they're trying to go all in. You know what I mean? And I've seen these people time and time again where they're like, all right, tomorrow I'm gonna eat healthy, exercise, but they like smash themselves. So they'll like, cut out all these foods like cold turkey. They will be going to the gym every day, not resting, not taking time for recovery, not including foods in their diet that they enjoy. So then what happens? Eventually they get to a point, they're burnt out, they've got no energy, they're like, I'm sick of this. They binge, stop it, like, and then it's like back on again. You know what I mean? Because they've gone too hard too fast. You know what I mean? So I always say to people, start with one thing. Like let's say it might be like I always say to people, start with nutrition more. But if you feel like, oh, you know what, it's not really the nutrition that's a problem. It's more like, I'm really lazy or the movement. Just start with movement, walking 20 minutes a day, you know. I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. But going from 0 to 100, it's like your body physically can't cope with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. So at the start, they're like, this is great. Like the first week, they're feeling really good. And then they get to like the second, third week, like, wow, I hate this. And then that's what causes them to hate or have those negative thoughts around nutrition and exercise and weight loss because they've done it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say to people, small changes lead to big change. You know what I mean? And it's like taking those small steps. It's like learning to walk. You've got to crawl first. You know what I mean? You can't just go straight into walking. You know what I mean? So it's like these little steps that you can take to get there because then your mindset's going to constantly be like, oh, I'm always failing. Or I try so hard, but I fail. Well, it's like you probably tried too hard where it's like, it was just way too much for you. You know what I mean? I think that's really an important message that I've been trying to get out because I see so many people do it. They're like, especially in the start of the year, and they're already burnt out. I'm like, so you've lasted like, 6 weeks because they've just gone from doing nothing to doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, and the way that I see it is like if you have already made that mistake last year and the previous year,
yeah,
like why do you keep making the same mistake?
yeah, yeah, that's right.
We make mistakes, for humans, which is fine, but
Yeah.
learn your mistakes.
Learn from them. Yeah,
Exactly, learn from them. Don't just keep making the same thing, the same mistake over and over again. Because if you are, then you're gonna keep getting the same results over and over and over again. Like take the lesson, learn, and do something different next time. And I know it's hard for some people to do one thing at a time because we're so used to multitasking. We feel like we can do it all. We feel like we can do it everything, but there's no such a thing as multitasking. It's impossible for us to multitask. Even though you might think you can do it,
Yeah, it's
Literally, when I say,
yeah,
mm,
you can't.
you cannot
I've
make
been
that.
there as well. I was like, I can do all of this, and it's like, no, it doesn't, because you're not putting enough, you can't physically put in enough energy to everything. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's better to focus. But yeah, totally true. It's like, I think we just think like multitasking. I always say to my husband, I'm like, I cannot multitask. Because you know how they're always like, women can multitask better
No,
than men. I'm like,
no.
no, you know, multitask. Like I'm focused on this. I need to be focused on like, and that's it. So it's yeah, I think it's just something people came up with, but because I'm just like, no, multitasking, no.
Yeah, you can't like you cannot put your attention to something and then to something else and then something else. Like your
Like
mind
you
only
can, but it's not going to be like it's going to be half. You know what I mean? You're
yeah,
never going to be
yeah,
100% on that and 100% on that at the same time.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, keep it simple, do one thing at a
yeah,
time only. Like, yeah, again, simples. We're going back to the same concept of just keeping things simple. You don't need to overcomplicate anything. The
yeah,
simpler you make something, the easier it's gonna be for you to stick to it, achieve those
yeah,
results, make this something sustainable, whether it's with work, finances, no, not finances, fitness, sorry. It's just having that sustainable approach, it does make a huge difference because we
yeah,
are humans. There's only so much we can do. So you
yeah,
need to take it easy, take it one step at a time, focus on one thing at a time, and
yeah.
just make it easier for yourself because you're the one who's going to be doing that work. So don't kill yourself. Like, there's no need to suffer. There's no need to, yeah, just punish yourself that way. Yes, there might be times that you need to prioritize different things. There might be times
Yeah.
that you need to say no to a few things if you want to achieve that goal, but it's all part of the journey. You cannot have it all.
Yeah,
We
that's right.
have it all as much as we want to. We simply can't. No, like we need to make a few sacrifices, but
Yeah.
that's only if you truly, truly want to achieve that goal. But
Yeah.
before we go, is there anything else you want to mention? Maybe any other tips you want to give them?
I think just, yeah, just trying to have a more positive outlook on situations. And another thing that I wanted to mention is like surrounding yourself with positive people. That has a really big impact on your mindset, So if you're surrounding yourself with people who are always negative, putting things down or putting people down or putting you down, it's like that eventually will just create like those negative thoughts in your head, So I think surrounding, like I've been really big on this, like probably the past year or two is like, I don't care who you are, how close you are to me, whether it's family or friend. It's like, if you are not positive, I can't be around you because it's like they will influence in me to think, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Or maybe like, so it's like really important to, surround yourself with positive people because that's going to really uplift you. That's really going to shape the way that you think. So yeah, have a positive environment, not just where you are, but like the people around you. Like,
Mhm.
what do you think about that? Do you think that's like important? Yeah.
I agree 100%. And I feel like the older you get, at least for me, the more
Yeah.
I am with the people I surround
Yeah.
myself with, even with family, even like friends that I'm
Yeah.
close with. Like,
Yeah.
once you start becoming more positive, or once you start working on your mindset more, I think you pay more attention to those things. You don't
Yeah.
feel like just because they're family, I have to, be with that person or whatever. You start being more picky, which I think is healthy. I think it's a good
Yeah.
thing because even if it's your sister or your mom, if there's someone that is bringing you down,
Yeah.
you don't want to do that to yourself. If it's
Yeah.
someone that
Yeah.
you literally don't like to spend time with, you're not gonna do it to yourself because you're gonna put yourself first. You're gonna stop prioritizing yourself, and I think that's something that I'm doing, and I think that's something that I personally feel is helping me so much. Just being
Yeah.
more picky with the people that I surround myself with, whether it's
Yeah.
in person or even online, like literally even online. I'm
Yeah.
just very picky because I don't want to have that negativity. I don't want to have that person reminding me, no, this is not possible. No, we cannot make this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
something that you don't need. Like literally, it's something that you don't need. It's something that
Yeah.
I personally don't want. I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that I'm
Yeah.
happy. I
Yeah.
want to make sure that the environment that I'm in, it's something that I feel secure. It's something I feel safe, and it's something that is pushing me to achieve those goals. To be that
Yeah.
that I want to be. And that's a choice and decision that you can make for yourself. Don't feel like anyone or your family is forcing you to do this, to that. You
Yeah,
can you
yeah,
can
that's right.
100% say no to the things you want.
You're in control of your own self, you know. And it's sad because like a lot of people do not have the strength to step away from those people. You know what I mean? So like I've developed so much strength over the past like year, especially of like, no, this is not getting me closer to my goal. This is not making me think the way that I should be. So I need to take a step back. So it's
Yeah.
really important. And you will never understand it unless you actually do it. I think people don't realize, they're like, oh, but I can't. And it's like, you can, because this is going to give you a better life and a better mindset. We have one life, you know, you don't want to waste it on thinking, I should have done this or I should have done that, but I didn't because, you know, I was scared what this person thought or said. So yeah, it's really important. Like you're in control of your actions, your experiences, your life. So yeah, positive vibes always.
I love that. And that's
Yeah.
so true. You're in control. And I think like as soon as you start working, or when you start working on your mindset, when you start putting that time, effort, and energy to develop that mindset, that positive mindset, things are gonna change for you. Believe me, you're gonna
Yeah.
see, or you're gonna have a different perspective from things. And then you're gonna be like, you're gonna have those like aha moments, like, okay, now this makes sense. Like, okay, now I get why people say write things down, journal, do this, do that.
Yeah, the light bulb moment. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like one of those things that you just have to do it, and then you'll see for yourself. But yeah, just quickly recapping some of the things that we suggest you guys do, something that we have tried. Try to journal. That helps us so much. Journal. Make sure you remind yourself of 3 positive thoughts whenever you have a negative one. Make sure you remind yourself of your accomplishments. Make sure you surround yourself with positive people. Make sure that you remind yourself that you're only in control of so much. There's only so much you can control. Don't feel like you can do it all. And make sure that you start believing in yourself a little bit more, because that's also going to be a game changer. Believe that you can do it. Anything is possible. Believe me, 100%. Anything. Even if it takes for a long time, you can make it happen. You just got to start by believing. I think that's always the first step. And then the rest, you'll figure it out. And I think last thing I didn't mention, take the challenge. Take that risk.
Yes.
That's going to be better than not taking that risk at all, and then you regretting it, or you wondering what would have happened.
What if? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope you can take away some value from this and start applying any of the tips that you think are going to serve you. Remember, you don't have to take everything and use everything. Just take what serves you and apply what you think is going to be beneficial for you. Thank you so much, Elisa, for being here, joining us today. And the weekly pod talks. We'll be here again, guys, next week to talk about whatever you guys want us to talk about. This was something that you guys highly requested. So send us your questions, send us your challenges, your concerns on Instagram. We're here to help you. We're here to guide you and make your journey much easier. Until next time, and as I always say, don't ever stop believing in yourself. Ciao.